What is going on, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? We are here, and we are trying to take some trades, some day trades here today. All right, some day trades. We're trying to day trade it out. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, this actually I'm going to move a little bit lower to 13. We're going to go to 90. Is premium 580 now? Yeah. Yep. Yep, it is. In longs 25063. Yeah, that's cool. I would like to get my longs down here closer to the 1 hour CE if possible. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bro. To be very completely honest, this week I have been on a straight up losing streak on those apexes that we started. I'm not trading those apexes right now. I'm on these lucids, but yeah, straight up losing week. You know, for me so far, it's been a pretty tough week. Between just the 2 days that I've traded, it's been pretty tough. I think the price action here has been like not so great. There's some trades that play out. I think between just the price action and the execution on my end, it was just horrible. There was one trade last night where I literally had the low a day, and I moved my stop loss to break even too quick, got break evened, and then the market obviously, you know, went in my favor. And that's like kind of that really is the worst, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll be completely honest, bro. I've been struggling this week, so hopefully we can, you know, end the week on a better note here. But yeah, that's where I'm at this week. Hasn't been very good for me. You have affiliate code for TradeFi? Yeah, Key. Code Key for everything, bro. Everything is code Key. 3 micros on Apex. Yeah, I've been using 3 micros, yeah. Yep. Can you explain why you're bullish? More than anything, it just has to do with this previous daily close. This right here. Previous daily closure. Literally just that. That's it. Just based off that previous daily closure and the 4 hour gap here. So let me remove this. We have a 4 hour gap here, and we have a 1 hour gap inside of the 4 hour as well. So that to me like looks pretty solid. This is one thing that I told my community, my Discord community, just a little bit ago. Take a look at this daily chart. This daily chart looks disgusting. Like, I want to throw up looking at this daily chart. Okay. Normally, I can come into most weeks with a very solid bias, and I can tell you guys at the start of every day or every week, like, hey, this is where the market's going, or this is where I think it's going, and I'm generally pretty accurate in doing so. Here, right now, I'm not coming into any of these days with a hard bias, because it's just going to bite you in the ass. So what I'm doing is I'm really just taking it candle by candle on the 4 hour. That's kind of it. The 4 hour candles is what I'm using to basically develop my bias. And then in this case here, we have just a super bullish closure here yesterday or today. And so now I'm kind of, you know, expecting some sort of continuation potentially. And, you know, if there is going to be a continuation, it should hypothetically be from this area. It should be from this 4 hour gap inside of here, you know? So that's kind of the basis behind the potential long. I know we have a previous day high sweep right here. We did sweep the previous day high. We did get a nice dump candle. So, you know, those are things I'm obviously taking into account as well. And that's the reason why I'm not really placing this trade on the fundeds. This is just going to be on these Lucid Flex evals. Yeah, I know. It is a 20-point SL, yes. What trade did I take for these accounts? I caught the short. Level is 25.013 with a 20-point stop loss. TB would be the high. So we hit the 1 hour gap, obviously, right? We hit it. We just didn't go like as low as I would have wanted it to, but we did hit it, and it might get a 5 minute change in state of delivery right here. And if it does that, then that's an actionable long setup. I've withdrawn 2K twice from 4 Apex accounts when I'm not sizing up, risking about 150, 200 per trade. I'm currently at buffer. Should I risk more per trade? So if you're at buffer, meaning you're at 52.6, so like 53, you're at 53K. Is that what you're saying? 52,600. Yeah, I would be, if I was you, I'd be risking like, so your initial risk is going to be 150 per trade, right? And then each $1,000 you add 150. So technically, according to the scaling plan, you should be risking right now, you should be risking about 450 per trade. I'm going to switch to EOD ones. I'm going to take a payout on the current 20 because I have that same 20 stack that we started together here on stream last week. So I'm going to, the goal is to get a payout from that. So 2K per account, $40,000 total. Once we get a 40K payout, I'm then going to just, you know, blow the accounts and then get a fresh 20 stack for the EOD accounts. And then, you know, I'll trade those. CISD from the leg that formed the low on the, yeah, it's from the leg that made the low. 5-minute rejection block. I assume you're talking about this one. I would prefer the 15-minute one or like even an hourly one. And those do look absolutely very, very solid. However, yeah, I wasn't really looking to take a trade down there anyways. Yeah, we have a 5-minute change in state here, so we have like an actionable setup long now. Yeah, we have an actionable setup long here. I'm not going to take this. I'll just watch this because I want to get like a better looking entry here. Yeah, usually 15-minute is the lowest I'll take. Yeah. Still trying to understand CISD. Why wouldn't you have a CISD from the 920 candle? The CISD is drawn from the high or the low of the range. So it needs to pierce or break through a low and grab liquidity, right? This low here did not go through any low and grab any kind of liquidity. This low did, because this low pushed into a hourly PD array. So we can only get a change in state of delivery from this. If you are confused about it, I made an entire video on just change in state of delivery. So if it's something you're still not confident about, head over to my YouTube channel, go to playlists, go to a 30-day mini series that I've made completely for free for you guys to answer all these questions. These basic questions can all be answered there. And it is day 11. It's the last day. Watch that one. Change in state of delivery always has to be sponsored by a PD array. If there is no PD array, there cannot be a change in state of delivery. You cannot get a change in state of delivery. For example, you can't really get a change in state of delivery from a high or a low. There has to be a PD array there. What the fuck is a PD array? It's PD array, which means premium discount array. It's just referring to fair value gaps, like order blocks, rejection blocks, things like that. Those are PD arrays. Okay, well, I'm up almost 800, so I guess I can only make another like 800-ish on these accounts. CISD towards downside now. Yeah, we do have CISD towards downside from this 15-minute, actually. We have a 15-minute gap and 1-minute change in state lower, yeah. So maybe this could actually sponsor the move down into this level and then potentially bounce from there, hopefully. But yeah, actionable setup short here now as well. So this is why I'm kind of like sitting out inside of this range, because not only do we have an actionable setup long, we also have now an actionable setup short. We got one both ways. So better to kind of just sit this out and wait, but important to kind of see, like, you know, see these things just so you can, for your own study, you can see what ends up playing out, what doesn't, and then you can understand, you know, you can understand, like, you know, what happens and why it happens that way. You have to make 1,500 in one day. You don't have to make 1,500 in one day. You're just capped at 1,500 in one day. So it's 50% consistency, which means 1,500, 1,500, and you pass it in 2 days. Still not like insanely difficult. We're reversing from PDH. I know, I'm well aware. Target to downside. I would like this to bounce 25.13. That's where I have my buy limit. I've traded Lucid Funded for 5 days today and made a profit of over 150 each day. So I wonder if I request a payout, does it mean my DD will be affected once I get paid? I'm not 100%. You got to ask Claude, bro. Ask Claude. Don't ask ChatGPT. Ask Claude. Watch this 15-minute wick CE up here, guys. Because if this is going to reject, I mean, we're kind of just trading between, you guys see, we're literally kind of just trading between two PD arrays here. This here right now is going to kind of be a telltale to see if this is going to reject or not. So this is one thing that I would watch. One thing to watch here. Okay. 25,108.25. Watch that. What advice do you have for trading funded for your first time? So I think a lot of people, they have like this thought in their minds, completely misconstrued, that they need to like get off an eval and they need to get to the funded portion, which if you are a profitable trader is 100% true. Your goal should be to get off the eval as fast as humanly possible so you can get to the funded portion and not waste any time. However, if it is your first time trading a funded account and you have not gotten any payouts yet, it's probably a better idea for you to spend more time on a eval and get really comfortable so that when you switch to funded, you're ready to go, right? I would have, as a first-time funded trader, I would have like a certain rule set for even the eval portion. And I would not, I wouldn't, you know, there's no negotiation around that at all, right? You're following certain rules for evals. It doesn't matter. You're not doing no one-day passes, none of that, right? You're following certain rules. And once those rules have been met and you're comfortable on an eval, you're naturally, over time, you're just going to build the buffer, get funded. And once you're funded, those rules just kind of transfer over, right? Nothing changes. Nothing changes at all. You build the discipline on the eval portion, they transfer over to funded, and you're good. Just size down, okay? Size down. Keep it light. The reason why I tell you guys to get comfortable is because a lot of people, like, it's a mental thing too, right? Because you're going to go from an eval, which most people don't have any emotions on eval. They go to funded and they just freak out because it's funded now, right? When in reality, it's still fake money, you know? You just spent real money to get fake money. Granted, you could get real money out of it, but yeah, people just think too deep into it. You know, you geek yourself out. And that is the reason why most people will end up trying their funded accounts. I promise you, it is literally all in your head. There's no, bro, like legitimately, there is absolutely no variable being changed when you go from an eval to a funded, right? Because you paid money for an eval and you pay money for a funded. In often some situations, you don't pay money for a funded at all, right? You just pay money for the eval and it's no activation. It sends you straight to funded. What variable is being changed? None, right? There's no physical variable being changed. The only thing that's being changed is your mind. You're now going from eval to funded, so your mind is frying you because you're freaking out. You're like, bro, I'm on to funded now. Like, this is the big leagues. I can get payouts now. Whatever, right? You know, at some point, you just got to stop standing in your own way. And all of you guys will eventually hit that crossroad. So, yeah, all that I can tell you is that it is in your head. And the less of a fuck you give about the P&L and the more emphasis you put on taking good trades, the better you will do. Right? Very simple. If you care about your P&L so much to the point where it's affecting your trading, right? Which it is. For you, for DYC Dennis, it is for you, right? You care about the P&L a lot. I can tell. I don't even need to hear the problem. I know you care a lot about P&L. When you put that much emphasis on P&L, that's when you don't make much money. Like, legitimately, you don't make much money when you're trying to make money, okay? That's just the reality. You have to be almost unfazed by the P&L. So you you disregard P&L completely, and you're not trading for the money. You are trading to take good trades. That's it. Because where's the money going to go? Where's the money going to follow? Good trades. Money's not going to follow into the shitty trades that you take. So, you know, frame out good trades. Take those trades. I promise you the money comes. You don't got to... Bro, you could literally... You can completely set your shit all to private to where you can't see the balance, you can't see anything, you can't see P&L. Set it all to private. I promise you, if you just take good trades for a month straight, you can look back at the account in a month and you'll probably be pretty far ahead. I currently have 10 50K PA since November last year. They still have yet to be blown. Why? Static rules are 3 micros, 20-point risk, all you need. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. And I do this in front of you guys. Okay, look. You guys want to see something, bro? You guys want to see something? Look, let me show you this shit. I'm going to log out of these accounts just so I can show you this. You ready? This is the Apex stack that I started with you guys 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, okay? In 2 weeks, you guys want to know how many trades we've taken? We've taken a good amount of fucking trades. A real good amount of trades. Look at the balance on these accounts. Look at the balance on these accounts. You guys see the balance? They're down $800 over the course of 2 weeks. Our risk, the risk parameters when we were entering was $150 risk per trade. Per trade, right? So 2 weeks, let's assume, I'm going to just throw out averages here, right? So 2 weeks, that's 10 days of trading, 10 trading days in 2 weeks. 10 times, I don't know, let's say 2 trades per day is 20 trades. 20 times 150, right, is $3,000. If we took 20 losses in a row, it'd be $3,000. Let's assume out of 20, I mean, this has been like a pretty rough few weeks. So let's say we took 10 losses. 10 times 150 is $1,500. These accounts are still not even over $1,000 into drawdown yet, right? 800 bucks is what these are down. So that's why I started these in front of you guys, so I can manage this in front of you all, so you guys can like see how you properly manage these. Yeah, man, as long as you guys have proper risk management, I promise you, it's very difficult to blow your account. Like, it's genuinely very difficult. Do you trade futures with personal funds or only prop firms? Yes, I do. I do trade futures with personal funds, and I've said this before, but the only way that I consider having a live account on futures is if you have a good amount of money to where you can swing trade. So swing trading is the only reason that I use my live account right now. Which you need to have the margin requirements change pretty often, but I think right now to swing trade you need over 25 grand. When and how long did it take for you to realize to not focus on the P&L since you started your journey? I mean, for me, it took a while, bro. Probably like 2 years in till I realized these things. What limit do you have set? I have 25.13, 25.013 with a 20-point stop loss. Are you bullish? I mean, dude, I'm telling you guys, it's very sketchy here. Like, I don't like this price action at all. That's why I'm only taking 5 micros on, and these are evals, by the way, mind you, which I size up on. But I'm taking 5 micros here. That should tell you something. I am just very uncertain about price this week. It's been very like shitty. So I have an idea for a long here. I broke it down a little bit ago, but I'll break down one more time. We have a 4-hour fair value gap. We have a 1-hour fair value gap. We have my level inside of here pretty close to the CE of said fair value gaps. And, you know, that sets us up for a potential leg higher, especially with this 10 a.m. opening. Sorry, 10 p.m. opening with no manipulation leg to the upside. The only thing that could kind of throw it off is the previous day high sweep. That could be considered a manipulation leg for the daily candle. But this previous daily close, like I said, very nice closure. Like, very, very bullish closure here. So, like, naturally, I'm expecting, just based off of that, I'm expecting some sort of continuation here to the upside, just based off that close. Win rate with secret top tick and bottom tick model. This year, it's been closer to like 60%. Normally, last year when I traded it pretty much all through last year, and the win rate was give or take 35 to 40%. With average R multiple, you guys have seen the average R multiples, but like average R multiple is usually 10R or higher. Last year, my average R multiple was stupid. It was like insane. R multiples were like average 15 because we were not using 20-point stop losses last year. We were using 5 and 10 points. Now the range is bigger, so I have to use 20 points. So R multiple kind of, you know, dies down a little bit. But the win rate has increased, which is pretty solid. You know, I'm happy with that. I don't expect win rate to stay at 60% with an average R multiple of 10R, right? The market's just been very good to this model this year. It's been very, very good to this model. So for now, it's been doing pretty great. Loose flags, you can only request 50% profits. It sucks. Yo, look, bro. The problem is you guys will, there's no satisfying you guys. Like, that's what I'm learning. There's genuinely no pleasing everybody. Somebody's always going to have something bad to say about something. Okay? At the end of the day. So I think it's not bad. I think the lucid flexes are not bad. If you really care so much about the 50% profit, then go get the pro accounts, right? Or just use TPT accounts, right? But then you're going to have an issue with TPT. You're going to be like, oh no, it's 5-day pass. Okay, well then go use Apex. Oh no, you can't use Apex. It's after 6 payouts, they close your account. See how there's I can say something about everything, but you're just kind of miserable person. Just, you know, switch your mindset up a little bit and look at things from a better point of view. People are looking for perfection in prop firms and certainty in trading. Yeah, exactly. I think people forget that the whole way a prop firm is profitable is by you failing accounts. It's the way a prop firm makes money. So they're not always going to be like amazing, perfect rules. They'll have some great rules, but then also they'll have something to offset those great rules so that it can remain a profitable prop firm. At the end of the day, the goal of the prop firm is to make money. Boom. Yo, this shit just dumped. We're pushing down towards this limit here. The 027 was the initial limit that I had. I'm watching that. I'm watching that as well, the 027. I have a level there. That was my initial limit. I moved it a little bit lower to 013, which is closer to the CE of this 1 hour. 4 hour looks pretty solid. 4 hour does look like it needs to manipulate higher, right? We don't have a manipulation like on this 4 hour at all. So this trade does favor some upside here on the current 4 hour. Hopefully we can hit it and go. Flow model's currently banking. I know, bro. 15-minute gap right there. I would have TP'd right there at that low for flow model. Key model, a higher time frame PD array with a lower time frame CISD. Yeah, the flow model is, yeah. That 027 level just got hit right there. See how it reacts. That's where my initial limit was. Again, by the way, guys, only trading my evals on these. Only trading evals. I'm not touching my Apex 50K fundeds for this trade. I'm just sketched out by this week's price action until it cleans up. So I'm not touching the fundeds. Only trading these lucid 50K flex evals. That is it. Okay. And I'm trading 5 micros on these. So pretty light size. Just make sure you guys account for that. But I do like this setup here. Just for this 4 hour, I do like this setup. What would be the flow model here? Flow model would be a 5-minute change in state to the upside. Yeah, it's the hourly BISI. And it's not exactly the CE. It's like a little off the CE. I have a level here. Can you explain BISI and CIBI, please? Static stop loss on all your trades. Yeah, 20 points. Man, this 027 already delivered 20 points. I don't know if that'll play out. Hoping it goes to my lower limit. You mostly trade micros? Yeah. Where would you TP from the 2513? I mean, it hasn't even gotten filled yet, but if I was to TP, it'd be 4 hour high. I mean, I'd probably take it up to daily high from there. You guys want to see this text that Apex sent me, bro? Look, this is the shit I do for you guys, bro. Look at this text that Apex sent me. They threatened to like completely stop giving me codes. Look at this. I'm gonna read it out to you guys. Look, listen to this fucking text they sent me. Each code is valid for 1 first month free evaluation account, blah, blah, whatever. Free codes are issued strictly for 1-to-1 distribution. They must be sent only via private message to a single individual user. They may not be shared in group chats, live streams, public channels, forums, community platforms. Under no circumstances, if a code is used more than once, whether intentional or accidental, your access to all future free codes will be permanently revoked. No exceptions. Compliance with this policy is mandatory, bro. They're trying to shut us down, bro. Did you explain rejection block? Yeah. Okay, so rejection block's pretty simple. All you're looking for is a candle that sweeps liquidity, whether it is a high or a low that is swept, or whether it is a candle that sweeps into a pity array. So this candle here sweeps into a pity array. We take the wick of this candle, and that is our rejection block, right? Similarly, up here, you can see this candle sweeps the previous day high. The wick of this candle is the rejection block, and you can see that was the high. Like, I mean, to the tick, it was the high, right? So that is rejection blocks for you. When you shorted, did you use 15-minute CISD? No, I told you, I literally used the 15-minute wick CE. Is this an A+ setup? I mean, it's okay. It's all right. I really don't think there is a A+ setup here. Like, I haven't seen one at all, period. Just because, for me, an A+ setup, like, what constitutes an A+ setup is not just, like, the lower time frame entry. It has a lot to do with the higher time frame as well. So, if our higher time frame is, like, consolidating and it's doing nothing, then, obviously, I'm not going to be able to consider anything an A+ setup. So that's like the main reason why I wouldn't consider anything an A+ setup here. If this was A+, bro, like in higher time frame lined up, then I would be taking more size. I'm only taking 5 micros, so 027 is delivering, bro. I mean, we could get a 15-minute inverse here and it starts to look really good. But 027 so far, nice delivery. Like, really, really beautiful delivery here. 15-minute gap. May get a 1-minute change in state lower. And if it does, it'll for sure hit the 13. The only thing is, I would never short this. Looking at the 4-hour, I wouldn't short this with no manipulation leg on the 4-hour. So yeah, I'm not a fan of shorting, but you know, worth watching. Only reason I'm not shorting is because the 4-hour. That's it. No other reason. That is literally it. You have any other levels? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have 973.5 next. But I'm not gonna be longing those two. Like 973.5 is the only other one I have, which is inside of this 15-minute gap. I'm not trying to like trying to long like every fucking level that I have here. Kind of stupid. But why not short the 4-hour? This I did. I literally told you I did. I shorted that at the top. This was my entry. My entry was 228. Wait, 25, 13, 11, 7, just going 9. The only reason I like this more is because of the 1-hour for Valley Gap CE. So I like that. But 973 is good too. 973.5 is good too. It's not bad. Trade breakdown on the sell you took. Previous day high sweep, 15-minute rejection block. That's it. This is literally it. 973.5. It is a 15-minute fair value gap. Fresh, open 15-minute fair value gap. How the F did you catch that short? I explained it. 15-minute rejection block after the previous day high sweep. Rejection block CE. I think a strategy based on daily rejection block only can work. Yeah, why not? You'd have a good amount of risk on the table if you're using daily rejection blocks. But yeah, why wouldn't it work? It absolutely would. I need 67% to pass my evals, and it feels impossible in this market condition. Yeah, it's not the best market condition. Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious that these market conditions are not the best at all whatsoever, right? So you kind of just have to either lower your risk, again, like lower your risk, or like just trade your funded accounts less. Would you consider the wick on the 1 hour around 800 as a good RB? around 800 all the way down here. This, oh yeah, this is beautiful. This is amazing. Yeah, 100%. We have another rejection block here. 15-minute just got hit. Literally just tapped it. Thoughts on longs here? It's not bad, bro. I would probably wait to see if we can crack this previous 15-minute candle's high. I would think it looks pretty solid. I'm hoping it goes a little bit lower, but if I get fried, I mean, it's bouncing from my 027 level, so I have a level here as well. If we get through this previous 15-minute high, it starts to look really good to then, you know, go through inverse and then continue higher. But this 4-hour does look amazing. This is kind of the basis behind the longs. 4-hour looks amazing for upside. If they're FVG stacked inside each other, would you take the lower aligned time frame or the higher? I would take the lower one. We're pretty close to midnight here now too, which is pretty solid. We know that majority of the manipulation legs are created after midnight, so you know, if this doesn't play out, good chance we could just kind of consolidate here. Midnight opens, push lower into 013, push higher. That would be pretty fire. Don't you wait for a confirmation? So I have two models. This model does not use confirmation. This model is anticipation. The other model that I use, I wait for a change in state of delivery, and like it's more mechanical model. This is nothing like that one. So this is what we would call an early entry, and then the second model is the later entry on the confirmation. So if at any point I have a level and I don't feel 100% confident in said level, then at that point I would just take the confirmation entry. No harm, no foul, right? Best way to identify market structure: highs and lows. Watch what's getting broken. Highs or lows. We just broke through that previous 15-minute candle's high, which is actually a very good sign for longs. Like this looks like it wants to just go in inverse. So, you know, not a bad look for longs here. So it looks like that 027 level I had is indeed playing out right now. An inverse here with a stop loss at this low, right? Assuming a stop loss at that low and assuming a TP at the current daily high. With 2 micros, you're risking $169. Not bad. It really is not bad. You know, if it does inverse, I'm down with taking this trade. I'm down with taking this trade. If this 15-minute inverse is to the upside, I'm down with it. You always target the 4-hour candle high or low? Yes, I do. During a 4-hour PO3, yes, correct. Is the entry off the 1-hour CE a 5-minute or 1-minute FVG inverse? It's neither. It's not a FVG inverse. It would be a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Now that your OC7 is showing support, if it were to fall through and reach 013, wouldn't 013 seem less favorable? Absolutely, 100%. It would. Does a bearish RB have to get a bearish close? No. If this inverses this 15-minute, I'll take the long, because that means 027 is playing out. Did anybody take 027? I had that marked out. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Let's go. Lots of people took that. Very nice. Can I entry here or wait because I want a safe entry? Well, why would you enter here if there's no inversion, no setup? It needs to get the inversion first. It inversed. All right, I'll take it. Stop loss at this low right here. I'm going to remove the 013 limit now. That's donezo. 3 macros. I only need like, I think another like $700-800 here. So let's see, with 3. Okay, I'll full TP up here. Yeah, I'll full TP up there. There's my trade. Watch and see what this does now. Okay. No, it did inverse. It did. 100% an inverse right there. That is an inverse. An inverse on ES. Yeah, so, okay, so one thing to note here that somebody pointed out to me, Chasen pointed out to me, is that this inversed on MNQ, which we're currently on MNQ, but it did not inverse on NQ. So, stupid ass little divergence happening here between MNQ and NQ. This is for sure risky. Like, to me, it's a little bit risky here. It looks good to go to 4-hour high for sure, but no doubt it is risky. So we're currently sitting at like break even. If you want to wait for NQ to inverse before you enter, just exit the trade here and re-enter it when NQ does. But I'm in it here. I will hold this to my stop loss or the TP, and that's pretty much it. Trade looks pretty solid though. 15-minute inverse here is the reason for the entry. 15-minute inverse after we hit the 1 hour fair value gap. Unfortunately, we didn't hit my lower limit, but I did have a level here at 0.27, which was the bottom basically, with 2 points or drawdown. So 0.27 was my level. Nice bounce there. So this is kind of the later entry that we're getting here. Yeah, 2.7 R into this high. I'm only TPing this high because my account hits the 50% thingy. All right, let's get a push. Let's get a push here. Let's get a push. 4 hour high is like the low hanging fruit here. Okay, low hanging fruit is 4 hour high. Yeah, guys, yo, I'm not partialing on this trade at all because I'm on an eval. So if you want to, if you are on a funded account, manage your trade a little differently. I would be partialing on funded accounts. For this trade specifically, as soon as we break through the 4 hour high, I'm moving this stop loss higher. And then when we get above this high here, this high is a good partial, right? Because this is about the halfway points. 2.7 R total. This is like 1 to 1 almost. So you want a partial up here. If you're on fundeds, you definitely want a partial up here. And then the rest of it, like, manage your position however you want. 25,300. That's far. But if you want to hold it for that long, yeah. Would you like this trade to go overnight instead of TP? Yeah, I would let it go overnight. I think it looks good. 15 minutes is the lowest invert you take? No. It's just the highest time frame inversion in this leg. Dude, it's almost midnight, bro. What are we doing? Guys, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to stay. Bro, I'm going to have to go to sleep soon so I can wake up for New York. I'm going to end the live here. I'm going to stay in this trade. Manage the trade however you guys want, okay? Again, I'm holding it to either to the TP or the stop loss. It's an eval trade for me, so I got nothing behind this trade, right? So I'm gonna let it run. It is a pretty good low of day candidate, so I have no issue. If I was on a funded here, I would have no issue letting like a portion of the position run to the highs, right? It looks pretty good for that. So yeah, overall, like, decent looking trade setup here so far. I'm gonna hold this overnight. I have my stop loss set, I have my TP set, so I'll hold it overnight. And yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. Whoever's able to make it. The rest of you guys I'll see at 9:30. I stream twice a day, every single day, so we will indeed be here. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Anyways, all right, peace out. Love you guys.